The Launchpad platform. The Ubuntu Launchpad provides the framework for a number of open source projects. Yeah, the source code for Launchpad has not been released, but that hasn't stopped many open source developers from using Launchpad. It's quickly become a rival to SourceForge as a host for open source projects. There are a number of components associated with Launchpad, including Bazaar, the version control system, which incorporates the use of both CVS, the concurrent version system, and SVN, also known as Subversion. Yes, version control is critical to any software development project. It provides visibility on the status of the project. More information is available at the URL shown here. Bugs is the Ubuntu bug tracker, also known as Bugsy Malone. Bugs can be searched at the URL shown here, bugs.launchpad.net. While bug reports on specific projects are possible, this is a course on Ubuntu Linux, so a bug report on the Ubuntu distribution requires information on the release, such as Hardy Heron, the package name, such as Samba, an informative bug summary, as well as information on the steps you took, what you expected would happen, and what actually happened. In a later video, I'll discuss what you should do before jumping to create a bug report in more detail. Blueprints is the specifications tracker for Launchpad. It helps developers decide what the feature of their new software will be. For more information, see blueprints.launchpad.net. Launchpad translations. Codename Rosetta is less than perfect, like other machine language translators. If you use Rosetta, you should check its work with the help of native speakers of the target language. For more information, see translations.launchpad.net. Answers. It works as a community knowledge database. In other words, real users ask questions on the database. They're answered by experts, typically other users, and both the questions and answers are collected in a database available at answers.launchpad.net. Ubuntu Community Support. Community support is important for an organization built on open source software. It's almost a tradition for open source projects. Ubuntu Linux and Canonical are following this tradition as its recipe for success. To this end, Canonical has provided a structure for community support. Mailing lists available at lists.ubuntu.com, message boards organized at ubuntuforums.org, IRC chat rooms listed at the URL shown here. Of course, there's the Ubuntu Wiki. A list of Ubuntu teams are shown at wiki.ubuntu.com. And in the previous video, I've already discussed the Ubuntu Answers knowledge base, part of the Launchpad system, available at answers.launchpad.net. To appreciate the depth of Ubuntu community support, sign up for a mailing list. Check out some of the message boards. Open a chat room. Observe as problems are presented and are solved right in front of you. Read some of the Ubuntu wikis. If you have a Launchpad account, you have rights to change many Ubuntu wiki pages. But be aware, the system is similar to Wikipedia. In other words, any changes you make can be traced back to you. There are now even geographically focused Ubuntu groups. For example, there are active Ubuntu groups in many of the United States, as well as in a number of countries around the world. But these support areas are not limited to Ubuntu users. Many, perhaps most Ubuntu experts, as well as canonical developers, participate and monitor one or more of these community support systems. So if you present your problem in a clear, polite, and an interesting way, and the problem affects a substantial number of users, you may even get your solution direct from one of the major canonical developers. Consider joining an Ubuntu team. There are several ways to do so. Most Ubuntu participants are informal team members. Be a part of the community. Many excellent users participate in one or more of these communities, learning more about Ubuntu, sharing their knowledge with others. But as they say, your mileage may vary. Bugs and solutions. If you run into a problem with Ubuntu software, the first thing to do is to check with the Ubuntu community. More often than not, other users can help describe the how-tos on how to really use the software. Gurus and developers are often available in the community who can describe the capabilities of the software, so you know you're using it in the right way. If nothing else, someone else has probably run into the same problem before and will empathize with you. Even if others in the Ubuntu community are unable to solve your problem, they may be able to help you identify critical problem files. If you've described the problem well, a developer or guru may even suggest that you create a bug report. But wait, if the bug has been reported before, a second report on the same software would just annoy the people behind that package. However, if you find and add information to a bug that's been reported before, that'll get more attention. So, before reporting a bug, search the database of existing bug reports at bugs.launchpad.net. After you've done your searching, if you've found nothing like the problem you're seeing, and have discussed the problem with the community to make sure that the problem is really with the software, you've identified a key problem file, or the package. As an example, let's say you've found a problem with the printer configuration file. The dpkg-s command can help you identify the package which governs that file. Let's try that here. I showed the dpkg-S command applied to the full path to the printer configuration file identifies the cubsys package as the governing package. Thus, if there is a problem with that file, and I know of none, you'd report the problem as a bug against the cubsys package. Now you're ready to report the bug. Be aware, you need a Launchpad account to report bugs. You can report the bug directly at the bugs.launchpad.net URL. Just select the Report a Bug link. Alternatively, you could use one of the tools dedicated to the purpose. These are essentially front ends to bugs.launchpad.net. The Report Bug package sets up bug reports from the command line. The Report Bug-ng package, closely related, sets up bug reports from a GUI desktop. The AP port package can help incorporate the crash reports from a service in a bug report. These are just 3 examples. Review of terms. This video will give you a chance to reflect on some terms unique to Ubuntu, or at least to Debian-based distributions. There are a number of these unique terms explicitly cited in the UCP curriculum, and are therefore fair game for the exam. If you're already comfortable with the way Ubuntu works, you should already know most or all of what I'll describe in this video. But I recognize not everyone who takes this course is fully up to speed on the ins and outs of the Ubuntu community. So I cover those unique terms in the UCP curriculum. While I've covered most of these terms in previous videos, I'm a believer that repetition is the best way to help you remember new terms. But first, let's go over a few keywords from the UCP curriculum that I haven't already covered. Minimal. That's a reference to the minimal CD, an ISO image, typically under 20 megabytes, which can be used to install Ubuntu Linux over a network, either from a main Ubuntu server or from a mirror geographically closer to you. Boot. That's a reference to the boot prompt, available on the installation CD, from where you can add custom settings. For example, from the installation CD menu shown here, I press F6 once, and as you can see from boot options, there are a number of boot prompt settings. Germinate. That refers to a package which takes a pre-seed file and expands it to a complete list of packages along with their dependencies. Once you have such a list of packages, you can set up a custom repository or even a custom CD, from where you can install the customized Ubuntu Linux you want. Now to review those terms already covered in other videos. If you don't want to hear terms such as long-term support again, you can stop this video here. You should already be familiar with basic types of Ubuntu releases, such as Ubuntu, Kubuntu, and Xubuntu. You've already reviewed release code names from Warty Warthog 4.10, released in October of 2004, through Intrepid Ibex 8.10, released in October of 2008. You should remember there have been 2 releases with long-term support. That's 3 years of support on the desktop and 5 years of support on the server. These releases are Dapper Drake 6.06 and Hardy Heron 8.04. You should remember the basic support structures built by Canonical for Ubuntu Linux. Yes, there's the paid support, but more importantly, the community options include Rosetta for translations, the fridge for the latest Ubuntu news, Ship It, which allows registered users to get free Ubuntu CDs, the Freedom Toaster, the vending machine for Ubuntu CDs in South Africa, as well as the Launchpad system for bugs, answers, and more.